Hello and welcome to this new video of management case study interview. I'm Shivam Banka, and the purpose of this video is to give you an understanding of how a management case study interview goes and what is expected of you in it. This video is divided into two parts. In the first part, I'll be going through the interview and present my understanding as we go along. In the second part, I will analyze the interview as a whole and provide the overall structure to it. For context, all the black text with blue background you see is the statement of the interviewer, and all the blue text with white background you see is the statement of the candidate. Today we are doing a case study interview where a client is in steel industry. Your client is an integrated steel manufacturer in India. Its current profitability is 4 to 5% and is higher than the industry average. Sounds pretty good. However, the client believes that there is a potential to improve the profitability further and needs your help in analyzing the situation. Okay, this is the first statement of the interviewer, and the first statement of the interviewer in a case study interview is very important because it tells you the scope of the interview. So, what we have here is a client is in steel manufacturing. The profitability is 4 to 5%, and it's also higher than the industry average. But the client thinks that we can do better than this. So, we have to figure out the situation, analyze it, and then provide recommendations and solutions to the client. So, this is a typical profitability case study interview. And usually, in most of the cases, a profitability management case study interview is divided into three parts. In the first part, you try to understand more of the client's situation, its competitor situation, the industry's situation as a whole. And in the second part, you try to structure the situation and figure out where exactly is the problem coming from. And in the third part, you provide recommendations and solutions. So we are going to proceed right now in the first part where we will try to more understand this, what is the client situation like. I would like to ask some preliminary questions. Can you please help me understand what does the term integrated steel manufacturer mean? Okay. The client handles end-to-end steel manufacturing process, including sourcing of raw materials from suppliers, processing raw materials to crude steel, and then finished steel, and then selling it to end customers. How many plants does the client own and where are they located? The clients own a single plant in central India. Also, there are no plans to expand elsewhere. What is the final product the company is selling? Who are the end customers? The company sells steel sheets, steel rods, hollow pipes, primarily to automotive industry, pipes industry, and construction businesses. You can assume they all contribute equally in our sales. What are the major competitors in and how are they performing? The competitors are small local manufacturers and companies from China. They are not performing as good as us as the client is better quality has better quality products and charges premium for it. So the objective is to increase the profitability. Do we have any targets in mind? None as such. We are exploring to check if there exists an opportunity in reducing costs as our prices are already quite high. Okay, so we have been told initially also that we're not focusing on increasing more revenue, but decreasing more cost to increase our profitability. Interesting. We can divide the costs primarily into raw material sourcing, manufacturing, storage, distribution, general administrative costs. So this is not how usually this. So there's a one step which is skipped at this in this interview, which is the candidate first divide the profits into cost and revenue. But during the initial rounds of discussion, we were told that we have to focus only on cost, so we can skip that line and start dividing costs further down more to figure out where can we actually improve and where is the opportunity. So we with this statement we are actually moving to the second part of the interview where we are analyzing and structuring the situation to figure out where the opportunity lies. So we have divided costs into raw material sourcing, manufacturing, storage, distribution, general and administrative costs. Sounds reasonable. Go ahead. Consider the first kind of cost, raw material sourcing. There are three elements involved here: cost of raw material, alternative raw materials, and supplier contracts. Can we assume that the cost of raw material cannot be changed much as iron ore is a commodity? Yes, I think it is a fair assumption. In fact, why don't you look into supplier contracts based on discussion with the client team? It is apparent that they have too many suppliers. Okay. Sure. Having too many suppliers can be problematic as it increases the cost of supervising them and also increases the cost of raw material as there are less bulk deals. It also affects the supply guarantee. So what do you suggest? What should we do about this? The first step will be to ensure we have sufficient supplies available with the suppliers to meet the client's increased demand if we opt for supplier consolidation. Some of the suppliers have more capacity than the client's needs. Okay, interesting. Then we should be providing incentives to supplier through bulk deals and guarantee order quantity. Secondly, to ensure quality of the product, we should put contractual obligations to the supplier to meet quality requirements and timely deliveries. Also, we can explore alternative raw materials to bring down our costs. Do we have any information on the quality requirements of by the various industry groups, automotive, pipes, and construction? Quality requirements are quite high for automotive and construction industries. However, piping industry doesn't have stringent requirements. Great. Then that implies we can use additional raw materials such as iron ore scrap from our own plant, which will bring down our raw material cost significantly. That sounds interesting and fairly doable. Moving on to manufacturing. So the second part of cost reduction value chain is manufacturing. What are the current efficiencies of the plant? What about processes uh, and what processes go into the manufacturing of different products, sheets, rods, and pipes. The current plant efficiency is greater than 95% and is above industry standards. We can explore the process though. The client currently prepares all three products with the same quality. And why does the client them at same quality standard despite the market requirements? Why does the client uh, prepare them at the same quality despite the market requirements? The plant currently has only one furnace which converts raw material into crude steel. There is high setup cost associated with it, and thus manufacturing setting cannot be altered. If I hear you correctly, then there is possibility to separate production lines of these products and save on the cost of pipes. Is that right? Yes. In fact, the R&D has been working on this. Great. Then we move on to storage. Mm, okay. Then we move on to storage. Is the client facing any issues there? Yes, the client currently has lots of inventory piled up at its warehouse. Can you please help me understand which products currently have high inventory levels? I cannot specify it by products. The final output is made as per the customer specifications. However, sometimes the customer delay payments for previous orders and so and the managers decide to hold the second delivery unless previous payment is made. This sometimes hampers the customer relations. As a result, the orders stay in warehouse for more than speculated time. So we should be focusing on fast payments from customers for clearing inventory levels and improving customer relations. Is that right? Yes, it looks like a big challenge. What is the current credit policy for customers during the purchase? The client currently provides 30-day credit for the customers during the purchase. We can incentivize the client using 2 by 10 net 30 credit policy. This involves providing discounts to customers who pay in full within 10 days from purchase. As a result, the debt collection can be sped up and also demand variability will reduce. This thus clearing inventories. Also, it will be a win-win strategy as customer also get 2% discounts and thus can reduce their purchase costs. Okay. Uh, I think it's a good suggestion. Lastly, can you help me understand the current distribution process? I think it's pretty optimized and has not further scope for improvement. Let us skip this part. Okay, great. So I'll quickly summarize our findings and recommendations for the same. Sure, go ahead. The client is trying to solve for profitability. We analyze the steel manufacturing value chain for the client involving raw materials sourcing, manufacturing and R&D, storage and distribution. We found three problem areas. The suppliers are fragmented. The current manufacturing process reduces high quality products only, and changing settings to adjust the to product quality is not possible. And third is there is inventory pileup where in the warehouse due to issues with credit collection. It is recommended that the client makes the following changes in its process to reduce cost. For the first, supplier is fragmented issue. The supplier consolidation and contract refining for timely orders, bulk deals, and stringent quality requirements. Second, using scrap as raw material. Third, R&D focus on new methodologies for improved manufacturing line. Fourth is revisiting credit policy to 210 net 30 credit terms. Thank you. That would be all. So it was a pretty straightforward case study interview where the candidate was able to identify the problem because he has broken down initially the cost into different value chain and has gone deeper into one by one into all different parts of that value chain, and he was able to exhaustively figure out areas of opportunity. So it was a pretty well structured interview. The candidate didn't divert anywhere during the interview and came directly to the problem and also provide very good suggestions for that. So now we'll move to the second part of the interview where I'll analyze the interview as a whole. Steel industry. Also, it's very important to maintain very clear and crisp notes during the interview because sometimes at the end of the interview, the interviewer might ask for your notes and he should be able to understand everything in one glance. Interview notes. Improve profitability by focusing on cost. Value chain elements for manufacturing should be focused on. Supplier consolidation and alternative raw materials can help lower costs. Separate product lines for the three products to help reduce manufacturing costs. Some case facts are: client handles end-to-end steel manufacturing process, three types of products sold, steel rods and pipes, three types of clients, automotive piping and construction industries. No major competitions, client business focus on quality products, only one plant in central India, 30-day credit policy for customers. And this is one of the most important part of the notes is you maintain a very clear structure because it shows the interviewer that you have thought in a very structured manner rather than thinking out of nowhere. So profits are divided into revenue and cost. We are told initially only to focus on cost. So costs, a whole value chain is broken down into raw material, manufacturing, R&D, storage, and distribution. Distribution, there was no problem, but we focused on uh, the other three parts. So in raw material, the cost in raw material, cost of raw material comes, alternative raw material comes, and supplier contracts. We focused on the supplier contracts mainly, and also the candidate suggested we can also explore alternative raw material to reduce the cost. In manufacturing R&D, there is machinery, technology, labor cost, and capacity utilization. Since the problem was we are using the same quality of iron ore for every industry, which was not as much required by the industry. So we are told to focus on technology to create a supply chain to manufacture lower quality of product too for the piping industry. For storage, there is inventory age and storage conditions. The problem was the product was staying in inventory for a longer time due to customer delayed payments, and then there were suggestions for that. There was no problem in the distribution side. So it was pretty well structured and exhaustive and list of things in all parts of the value chain. Recommendations provided by the candidate were: supplier consolidation must be conducted and supplier contracts should be revisited for timely orders. Sorry, must be revised for timely orders, bulk deals, and stringent quality requirements. Consider using scrap as raw material. Focus R&D on developing new methodologies for new and improved manufacturing line. Revise credit policy for 2 by 10 net 30 credit terms. Observation suggestions for the interview was: it is important to understand every factor that can affect particular cost. Steel industry related terminology should be fully understood to be able to come up with the recommendations. Okay, very good. And one of the things which I also observed that the candidate was very open in asking more about what does um, So in the first statement, the candidate mentioned it's an integrated steel manufacturer. The candidate was pretty open that, "Oh, I don't understand why is there a word integrated." So he asked that question. So it's very important to understand that the interviewer is there to help you out. So if you have any doubt or if you have made any assumption, you have to confirm with the interview. You have to ask questions with the interview, and rather than thinking that it will come out as you're not knowledgeable about the industry, but it is there. The interviewer is there to help you out if you're not able to understand everything and help you direct towards the right problem. So always use this to your advantage and help or ask when you are in confusion, rather than assuming things and then going in a very wrong directions. So that was the interview. I hope you guys learned a lot from it. If you have a case study interview coming up, all the best for it. If you want to build a career in consulting and want to understand different industries, it's a very good habit to watch my videos. I'll be uploading one video every day. So please do subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any video. With that, I would like to say thank you for watching and have a nice day.